been pretty much consistent since the beginning of the season to where everything's kind of shaping up, rolling up now into August, later forward in September when we're heading off to the NBA Finals. Whenever it comes to the NBA Finals predictions, there's always around three teams we always mainly focus on. They're very legitimate. We expect at least two of those teams to head over to the finals. Of course, being the Milwaukee Bucks, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Those have been the top three. In the very beginning, there were some bubble teams we thought that could probably, maybe, possibly be in the mix. The Houston Rockets were out of the picture, but whenever you have Russell Westbrook and James Harden, they're hot and cold to where they're so inconsistent. To where I could see them in the playoffs where they can get to the conference finals, being a number one seed, but then I also could see to where they could be like a fifth or fourth seed. Very inconsistent guys, but that's not going to be the case now. Some people are throwing in the Boston Celtics. At the beginning of the season, that was not even in question. I've had a lot of cats myself. Probably expected them to lose in the second round. Probably a lower percentage in the first round, and that's still kind of looking like the case. They could be a dark horse to go to the conference finals to beat the Raptors. Who knows about that? I don't have the Celtics reaching the finals at all. I've had couple cats, these past couple months before the coronavirus, to where it was shaping up, to where people were bringing that in the conversation. I'll entertain it, especially against the Raptors to beat them. But when going against the Bucks, I just don't see that at all. Even if they go against the Miami Heat, that'll probably be a 7-game series. Either way, I've stated this in the past couple videos that I have posted here a couple days ago. My finals predictions out of the Eastern Conference, I easily have the Milwaukee Bucks. I expect them to pretty much steamroll through the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're probably going to go against the Magic in the first round. Most likely going to sweep them, maybe even go 5 games at most. Probably lose a game in Orlando. Second round, they're probably going to match up with the Miami Heat. Now, I think that actually will be a much closer series to where in the games it'll be closer. I think they would still win in 6 games with the Bucks. And then the conference finals, I expect them to either go against the Toronto Raptors or the Boston Celtics. I still don't have the Raptors without Kawhi Leonard as well as the Celtics to pass over a motivated Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I expect this is the year for the NBA in the timeline for Giannis and his team to head over to the finals in the Western Conference. I only have my eyes on the Lakers and the Clippers. Now, based on the team structure, the Clippers have picked up a couple of players since the beginning of the season, such as Reggie Jackson, who was waived by the Pistons. Then they picked up one of the Morris brothers, Marcus Morris, senior on the team. He's now starting at their power forward position. They did pick up Joakim Noah, another great veteran for the team. I think they may have picked up one more cat. I don't remember. I don't think so. But then the Lakers, they picked up the other Morris brother, Markieff, who plays as a 3-and-D player, which they much needed to play a 3 or 4 spot, maybe even a 5 at times. They also did pick up Dion Waiters, which we have yet to see him play, and as well as, I think that's it. They may bring back Boogie, but I don't expect him to play. But overall, I actually do have the Lakers going to beat the Clippers to go to the finals against the Bucks. That Clippers-Lakers series is going to be electric if they do meet, and most likely will meet in the conference finals. Neither team will have home court advantage. Well, pretty much for now, unless the NBA states what they're planning to do in Orlando. I just think basically you have to put in the storyline of the NBA, people's careers, as well as on the other side, just an eye test, analyzing the team. If I were just to do based off an eye test, based on facts, what I see, I would have the Clippers and not the Lakers. I would probably have the Clippers winning that series in 6 games. But I just think there's so much on LeBron's legacy for the Lakers. Everything lines up on a storyline to where either the NBA will push. I'm not saying things are rigged or scripted in the background. To where everything is kind of, in the future everything's advanced to where they know what's going to happen, or they talk to one of the main players, let them know to rig a game or this or that. I'm not saying anything. I've seen this being very consistent in the NBA and sports in general. That could be another topic for another day. But I expect the Lakers for this year with LeBron James to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games. Lakers will have home court. Even though they won't be in LA, they will be in Orlando. But I expect the Lakers to win within that series against the Bucks. But let's see what these guys say here on
For the
ESPN. I'm
restart
going to
of
give
the
my
season,
take.
the panel of our ESPN.com reporters released their playoff predictions. The race for the 8th seed in the West is a very close vote, but the Blazers, Portland, getting a slight edge over Memphis there. In the East, the Bucks were picked by every single panelist to make the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics and Raptors were the next two highest picked teams, so everyone generally likes Milwaukee. In the West, it will likely be the Battle of LA. 97% of the panelists picked the Lakers, 85% picked the Clippers to make the West Finals. As far as the finals are concerned, the Lakers were picked by half the panel to win it, followed by the Bucks and then the Clippers. When this panel was last polled in
Yeah, basically what I said. Everything's been pretty consistent in the Eastern Conference with the Celtics and Raptors. I'm pretty surprised they had the Celtics over the Raptors. I know a lot of NBA fans, Celtics fans, Jason Tatum fans, and everyone else expects or has the Celtics beating the Raptors in the second round. I actually would put the Raptors, they're still a championship contending team. I don't expect them to make the finals or win it, of course. But without Kawhi Leonard, they still have the same foundation of a championship team. You have Nick Nurse, who is now in his second year. He has a great fit with that team. That team last year, whenever they had Kawhi Leonard, would kind of remind me of the '90s Bulls a little bit. When you had Kawhi Leonard, you have Pascal Siakam. Man, they had a bunch of their length was crazy on that team. Their defensive sets and defensive minded was really going off against the Bucks and the Warriors in the finals, and as well as offensively, they moved the ball in such a beautiful way. I haven't seen that in such a long time since the Golden State Warriors. But overall, on the Western Conference, they were right on the Lakers, Clippers. So we pretty much expect those three teams: Bucks, Lakers, Clippers. I mean, you can kind of put the Raptors in the Boston Celtics kind of in a little bubble as a second tier. But overall, everyone's kind of focusing on those three teams to make it.
Got over 60% of the vote. But obviously, as Jalen and many of others have said over the course of time, this is a whole new season. Zach Lowe is back with us. Jalen and RJ are with us here. And so, Zach, I'll start with you as you rejoin us. Right now, who do you have coming out of the Eastern Conference?
I've had Bucks all season. I don't really see a reason not to pick the Bucks, especially since the layoff has given Giannis his knee a chance to heal. So I'll stick with chalk. I'll stick with the Bucks. They've been the best team all year in the East.
Jalen, you agree?
There won't be chalk, except in the Western Conference potentially because the Lakers and or the Clippers are going to win that conference. In the Eastern Conference, I disagree, Zach Lowe. Get low. I love the season
What's up,
Giannis
Jalen?
has had. He's my MVP. What up, family? But I'm taking the Boston Celtics. I think, RJ, if we was having a pickup game and you were taking 7 players, I think 5 of the 7 would be from the Boston Celtics. Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, all terrific. Gordon Hayward, spinning all-star, second year off an injury. Don't sleep on the Celtics. That's my pick.
Yeah, I agree. Don't sleep on the Boston Celtics. I wouldn't go that far to put him to the finals. I think would be a peak for them, or at most to reach for, is the conference finals. Because in the first round, they're probably going to go against the Pacers. That'll be an easy 4 or 5 game series, most likely 5. In the second round, they're most likely going to go against the Toronto Raptors to hit off that second and third seed. That's going to be a close series. I think that's going 7, even without Kawhi Leonard on the Raptors. Their foundation of how they've been with that team, that championship DNA, you're not going to be able to beat the Raptors very easily in the playoffs. No one will. I don't care if you're the Bucks, even as well. It's going to at least 6 to 7, especially with the Celtics. I love the progression of Jason Tatum. His first season, he went to Game 7 in the conference finals. We do have to realize, guys, in 2018 in the finals, there was only a few contending teams. Everyone was looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James and Jordan Clarkson's around there. They were the 4 seed, and they weren't really the favorites. People were looking at Philadelphia. Ben Simmons' first season, they were the 3rd seed. They were around 50-32 at that time. They were explosive at the end of the season. And then people were looking at the Boston Celtics. Actually, people were looking at the Celtics where they could possibly get bounced in the first round against Giannis and the Bucks when it was the 2nd and 7th seed. So the Eastern Conference was really weird. People were looking at the Raptors that year as well to make it to the finals. So it was most likely they were looking at the Raptors, the Sixers, and then kind of the Cavs, and then not really the Celtics. So Jason Tatum, he was balling out with Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, a bunch of those young cats with Jaylen Brown, without Kyrie Irving. I give him credit to making the conference finals, especially beating the Bucks and as well as the 76ers. So they've had experience. They've gone against really great teams. I don't know if I expect it this season. I think they'll go at least the second or third round, most likely in the second, because now with the Eastern Conference, LeBron's gone. Teams have risen. You've always had now the Boston Celtics. You've had the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors. Now you have the Miami Heat in the picture. So you have very formidable 4 to 5 teams that can really go at you. In the Eastern Conference back in the day, it was only around 2 to 3 teams, most likely LeBron James-led team in the East.
All right, so we have 1 vote for the Bucks and 1 vote for the Celtics. RJ, break the tie. Who you got?
Honestly, I think given the new format, the Bucks should be the favorite, but I will say that the Boston Celtics, to me, they do have the versatility. They have the youth. Understand, Milwaukee has a little bit older players. Like you have Giannis, but you have older players on that Bucks, so it could take them a little bit longer to get fired up. But Jalen knows when you're 23 years old, when you're 24 years old, you don't stretch, you don't ice, you wipe off the bottom of your shoes, and you get in a defensive stance. And so having a younger but very talented team that the Boston Celtics have, I believe that they are the one team that could take down Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm going to go with Boston just because of this environment that we're in right now.
All right, 2 votes for the Celtics and 1 for the Bucks. Let's go to the West, and this time I'll start with you, RJ. Who do you have coming out of the West?
Real quickly, I'm actually surprised that 2 of them actually went with the Celtics, 1 with the Bucks. I'm still going to pick with the Bucks. I'm very confident that they would either beat the Raptors or Celtics in the NBA playoffs. I know those would be great series to say the least. I don't think it's the Celtics. It's not their time yet. I think you have to give them around 2 more seasons to where they'll make a finals appearance. Because you got to realize the Brooklyn Nets are coming for next season. You got to keep an eye up on them. I think the Celtics, they'll make a finals appearance probably in 2022, most likely in that time period. I don't see them at all this season. I'm very surprised, and I'm glad for them, especially with Gordon Hayward finally coming back from a very rusty and iffy season last season, to where he's picked on a really good role with this team. They let Kyrie Irving go. Kemba Walker's played beautifully with this team, and that was a great decision with him in free agency to be on a contender. I didn't expect it to be this good. I thought they were on their way. But yeah, back in the Western Conference, I got the Lakers. Everyone's either going to pick the Lakers or Clippers. I would be very surprised if they picked a different team.
I have to say the Clippers. Like I really like the Lakers, but again, I'm going to go with the same format that I'm using for Boston. You have a ton of versatile players with the Clippers. You can lose a Morris and you still have a Reggie Jackson. You have so many guys down the line. You can lose a Patrick Beverly and you still have Paul George and Kawhi, and you have so much talent down that line. So to me, the Clippers, because of their depth, because of their versatility, especially between guys that are 6'2" to 6'9", they got the most of them in the NBA that can really play.
Yeah, the Lakers and Clippers, they're both deep. When it comes to the Clippers, I trust their players more. When it comes to the Lakers, they played against the Clippers 3 times, 3 different occasions. The first 2 games, the Lakers lost to the Clippers. The Lakers usually need a third option with Anthony Davis, LeBron James to rise up against the Clippers. The first game was Danny Green. The second game, we saw Kyle Kuzma finally kind of come into fruition. And then the third game, that's when LeBron took over with the team. But it's going to be a very close series. Again, guys, like I said, in real life, I would expect the Clippers to win this series. I wouldn't really bat an eye on it. It could go 6 or 7. But when I put in this NBA storyline when it comes to the Lakers, LeBron's legacy, I just think, I don't know, I would have to see to believe it. Actually, I do believe it because I'm picking the Lakers, but I actually would, it's tough for me to see and that actually would happen. Not to digress real quickly, but this was like in the 2018 Eastern Conference playoffs in the semis. You had the Raptors, who were the top seed, against LeBron James and a bunch of Jordan Clarksons on the 4 seed. I had no idea how the Cavs would win that series. They had no offense on their team. Everything would have been predicated on LeBron, but he went and swept them, which was crazy. Kind of the same thing within here. Somehow, some way, the Lakers will get this done. It's probably going to be very nasty, very gritty. It's going to be, pretty much probably to a Game 7 to really just squeak it through. But I think the Lakers will squeak themselves through into the NBA Finals for this season for the NBA.
The Clippers.
He's got the Clips. Jalen, you agree?
RJ, I love the reasons why you're going with the Clips. Having 4 players average over 19, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, to me, they should split the 6th man of the year. But I'm going with the Lakers because I remember being in the gym and Patrick Beverly was trying to get the ball up against Avery Bradley's defense, and he got ripped a couple of times. And I started to look at the Lakers squad a lot different with he and Danny Green's defensive prowess and their ability to knock down threes, plus the dominance of LeBron James leading the league in assists and setting the table, plus the height the Lakers have up front with AD, an all-NBA performer, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee. That can be suffocating. So
I think more an emotional side to where a bunch of these players have something to prove, like Dwight Howard in his career, LeBron James going for the quote-unquote GOAT or Mount Rushmore of the NBA. Then you have Rajon Rondo, who's been kind of in and out in the NBA, different teams. He's trying to prove himself. Kyle Kuzma is a young cat. I think the Lakers just have a lot to, they're more motivated to win the championship. We've seen the team chemistry rise, and it's been, they look like a championship team. The way how all these guys gel together on and off the court, you can tell they're very focused. Frank Vogel deserves a lot of credit. He should be in top 3 consideration of Coach of the Year. LeBron James teams have always had, headaches, a lot of drama. Even Tyronn Lue around 2-3 seasons ago, he had to take like 2 weeks off because LeBron was just stressing him out. But Frank Vogel, no one's really talked about him in the media or on Twitter. Usually LeBron James teams, a lot of drama. It would always be exploited in the media, but not this season. The Lakers are very focused and been very successful at the number 1 seed, even against the Clippers. The Clippers have a great makeup for a championship team. I just don't think that will and motivation's there. I'm not saying Kawhi Leonard is being nonchalant since he just came off a finals appearance and a championship. I just think LeBron James, when it comes to this team, even though the Clippers have the greater talent, the greater mix in coaching altogether, I'm just still going to pull for the Lakers when it comes to the storyline.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Zach, Clippers or Lakers?
I said Clippers to win the title in July. I see no reason to pick anyone but the Clippers now. They're versatile. They can play any style, big or small. I think Jalen did hit on one potential semi-weakness, like a little bit less ball handling than you would like, but they are really versatile, so I'm sticking Clippers.
Real interesting. I actually want to see how Paul George actually performs in the playoffs this season. Ever since he left Indiana Pacers, and even his last season on the Pacers and kind of the back end, he's been pretty much non-existent in the playoffs, very inconsistent. Whenever he was on the Pacers back with Roy Hibbert, David West, George Hill, Lance Stevenson, and the crew going against Miami, he was only around 23 years old, 24, very electric, very consistent. And he was actually in MVP considerations in 2014. But ever since, with the Thunder especially, non-existent really. I'm actually curious because he's going to be a second role to Kawhi Leonard. I think he's going to be able to have less pressure on him. Kawhi knows what he's doing. He's done this before. But I think that will be the X factor when it comes to that playoff matchup whenever you have Paul George. Because we know AD and LeBron, they're going to do their thing. I know Kawhi will. I'm unsure about Paul George. So that could be the X factor if the Clippers lose a Game 6 or Game 7 against the Lakers.
A minute, I want to pick from each of you because we've all named all the usual suspects, Boston, Milwaukee, and the 2 LA teams. Give me one other team, Zach, that we should be watching.
You are
sleeper team in the Eastern Conference. A lot of people don't really believe it. I'm going to say the Boston Celtics. I still have them as a sleeper team, like in a dark horse on the Western Conference. I would probably have to go to. I probably have to go with the Houston Rockets, depending what their seeding is going to be. But if it's not the Clippers who make the conference finals, and if they play against the Rockets, who knows? Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they're very inconsistent. They can be very hot, very cold, but who knows? They could be bounced in the first round. I could see them in the conference finals as well. I would definitely have to go with them.
If you're looking for a sleeper, you're all sleeping on the defending champion Toronto Raptors. Everyone's talking Celtics in the East. Raptors are ahead of the Celtics. Marc Gasol's healthy. Put some respect on the Raptors' name.
What do you think, Jalen?
The player people sleeping on is Kyle Kuzma. I didn't even say his name in the previous thing, and he gonna ball. The team is the Portland Trail Blazers. You get back Nurkic. You get back Collins. They were in the Western Conference playoff.
They're not even in the playoffs, Jalen. What are you talking about? And a deep playoff run? No. even if they do make the playoffs somehow, some way to go against the Grizzlies or Pelicans past them, they're going to go against the Lakers in the first round. They're going to get swept or losing 5. I don't know what this good man's talking about.
Last year.
Richard doesn't want to hear it. Richard, final word. Who's your sleeper?
Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets. The one disadvantage that they're going to be playing against is they won't be playing in the Mile High. That's a huge.
It's not a bad pick. I don't agree. It's not their season this time. Whenever it comes to Jokic, he did lose 30 pounds. I have to see how he does perform and adjust his game, because he usually used his size to be bulkier, to be down low, not get pushed around. He may have to play like a Porzingis type, may even move him to the 4. I don't know how it's going to work. They're going to finish usually with the 3rd or 4th seed. I expect them to make the second round. I don't expect them to beat the Clippers or the Lakers in the second round at all. I wouldn't pick them as a sleeper team. I'm still going to stick with the Celtics and as well as the Rockets in the Western Conference. And I already talked about the Raptors. I don't really see them as a sleeper team. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I haven't. I expect them to be in the conference finals. But overall, I got the Lakers, Bucks in the finals. I think this is what the NBA prefers, what's going to be able to happen with LeBron's legacy, winning his 4th championship. But we'll see whenever it comes to this fall.